Hello there. It is Chrissy and Tanner from Common Sense Education here again to give you the scoop on some cool tools that you can use in your classroom. We are here every Tuesday coming to you to try to help you out, give you some great stuff that you can check out, and also come and visit us at Common Sense Education to check out our myriad resources that may be helpful to you. Today, it's Tanner's turn. Tanner, please take it away.
Yeah, so the caveat with this one is and we're going to be talking about Radio General. You can find the developer's website, this game, there. This is a game not designed for classrooms. It was really not the original intention. And I forget how we stumbled on it, but when I saw it, I was like, this has a lot of potential. Maybe as an extracurricular for some students who are particularly interested in the subject of the game, which is World War II, or your students who are just really into strategy games and you know that, and you want to direct them maybe to something that they'll get a little bit of learning value out of. So let's take a look at this one. We rated it for grades 7 to 12. And it is, this is a traditional kind of PC game. So it's available only on Windows and Linux currently. And it does cost a bit. It's about $20, So this is sort of edge case, but I think it's interesting for educators to check out these kinds of experiences and see how a lot of consumer games have some very compelling learning going on. And I think this is definitely a standout in that sense. So the pitch behind Radio General is that this is a game in which you are a general in the Canadian Armed Forces during World War II, and you are commanding your forces like you would in a typical strategy game. And you're sort of, the pitch is that you're in a tent overlooking a battle map. Let me see if I can get this nice and big for you so you can see it. You're in this tent and you've got like your poster boards and you get your mission briefings and you're looking down. You can see here's the outside of the tent and here's your lamp. It's using like contextual things really cool and in a neat way. And you're looking down on your map, and this is where kind of the game takes place. You are controlling armed forces in combat in World War II from your tent as a general. And there's there's a mixture here of strategic thinking, actual learning about World War II and real events. There's news clippings and photos and documents that are really from the period. But then there's also an interesting subtextual SEL aspect to this, in that you're meant to feel like you're operating in from a chaotic point of view, and you're doing things that are costing lives. That like the decisions you make can cost people their lives. And as part of this, you're actually writing, after a battle, you see your casualty reports, and you write letters to the families of people lost in the battle. So it's got a very compelling mixture of strategic gameplay, but then giving it the gravity that a lot of games lack about what is actually taking place. And myself and the reviewer, find it very compelling that they position you as this general commanding these forces, and you're just seeing them on a map. But then those forces do things in the field, and you get reports back, and you feel the consequences and the weight of it. I've been saving one of the weirdest things about this game, though, which is that the way you command units is very period accurate. So you take your microphone like this one, and you command your forces using your microphone and your voice in the game. So you send out radio signals, and then you hear from your units their report from the field, and then you move your units based on the reports they send you back. So your map, you're responsible for tracking what's happening in the field based on what you're hearing back. So there's this really interesting feeling of there's this intense battle happening that I cannot see. I'm just hearing, and I have to use what I'm hearing and my own commands to kind of update this map and try and successfully navigate this battle. Okay, so let me just show you their trailer here, and you're not going to be able to hear this, but I can kind of narrate what you're seeing, and you can kind of just see it in action here. And you see that, you get these briefings, you read through them, plan your battle, and then you see things happening on the map. There is some animation, but you are moving the pieces, you're drawing on the map and circling things, and and then you're issuing your commands and hearing back from your units. And they'll prompt you for the commands you can give. There's a set amount of things you can say and do, and the game kind of interprets those. But it's this, I've never seen anything quite like this. And it's really, to me, it's the period detail that you get mixed with that feeling of gravity and chaos that someone in this extraordinary situation would feel. Should also add that for students who might get really into this, you can use a map editor here to create your own maps and have battles on them. So there's an opportunity here for students to recreate battles you might be studying in class. And our reviewer identified that kind of one of the biggest issues with this is that it disrupts kind of what you might expect from a game like this, and it's designed to be really chaotic and frustrating. You're designed not to feel like you have full control. That said, there's an accessibility dimension here. If someone doesn't have full use of their voice, and that feels like a barrier, you can just control it in a traditional mouse keyboard manner. So they allow that to happen. There's also a bunch of different languages that are supported too, which is really nice to see because language is so important in this game. So that's Radio General.
Wow.
I hope that makes sense. We're kind of going a little bit outside of what we normally talk about, but I think this might just intrigue some people in the audience.
Yes. And this is totally something that we've been talking about, which is these sort of messier, for lack of a better word, learning experiences that aren't necessarily what you might expect, but there's so much to do with this that, of course, then it takes a little more work on the educator's part, because you have to, develop whatever materials. But wow, there's so much to work with. That's really cool. All right. Well, Radio Central, I guess we should say over and out. Is that how I don't know.
If the movies are to be believed, that is.
Yes. I will command you with my voice at this time to visit us at Common Sense Education. Come and see us. Come back. Subscribe. Like. Tell your friends. And over and out.